kind of similar but separate, another bill that you and a bunch of Assembly Democrats kind of pushed through the Assembly was a comprehensive package for Internet safety.
Correct.
Something that's very important, especially in this modern age where everything's done online. And now something that you kind of pushed, which it's kind of interesting to think that we never had on the books, was really extending the right of property, saying property on your computer is really indicative of property.
Correct. We're doing what's called an Internet trespassing bill. You know, if somebody breaks into your home or came on your property, they can be charged with trespassing. Well, somebody could break into your computer, steal information, and technically couldn't be charged with much unless they stole something and used it someplace else. But now what it's going to be done is if there's going to be a law in the books that they know they're going to give up their right to being charged, that if they break into your computer or get into your computer remotely, not on scene, they don't have to be there, remotely, that they can also be charged with trespassing just like they can if they broke into your home or walked onto your property, so that we can let people know, listen, you can't just do this. You can't go in and look at somebody else's information, whether you use it or not. So this way now, that once we put the law on the books, the police come in, something's been done with the computer, when they track back through and they have different ways through URLs and you know, codes and numbers, email things to find out. They find that person is broken in, they're going to be charged with trespassing, just like coming into your home.
It makes sense. I mean, a lot of sensitive information is held on your computer, even in an email.
100%.
You know, you exchange sensitive information, and if someone hacks in or breaks into your computer, there seems like a world of hurt potentially on the horizon.
All right, I agree to that. I mean, they might just be. It could be students to students, and you know, some of our students today break into things better than adults do. But they might steal some sensitive information from another kid, and you know, put it out there, and you want to find out who that was. Maybe they didn't break any other law because you know they didn't steal credit card numbers or anything, but they did do something illegal to you.
It's privacy.
It's privacy. You know, a few years ago, we had internet luring prior to this, where a person posted something about a person on the internet, and that person was being attacked, and you know, police responded, and when they caught the guy, he's like, well, I was doing what you said on the internet. It was somebody else that posted it. There was no law to charge the person that did the illegal posting, and we fixed that. You know, the world's evolving. As the internet grows, we need to work on these laws together and foster it to protect our citizens here in New Jersey.
It's very simple. It's not red, it's not blue, it's not Republican, it's not Democrat. It's just the bottom line, and it seems to be from when I listen to what you have to say, the common denominator is protecting our children. And you're doing that with this bill, you've done it with bills, similar bills in the past, and also with an underage smoking bill. It's another one of those things that we see happen a lot. We see kids on the corner, we see kids at the movie theaters, clearly not of age. They can't buy the cigarettes, but apparently they can smoke the cigarettes.
Yes, I do some classes in Nutley High School, the AP Government class, and we started this bill last year. And I went in with them, and I taught about 3 different classes. Senator Sarlo taught a class, Assemblyman Scher. We paid a lobbyist $1 to come in and do a program. And I charged the kids with that if they could come up with a great idea for a bill, they would introduce it, make it law. And I went back in, and they had a great idea, and they said to me, how come the smoking laws don't follow liquor laws? And I said, I don't know. Really, explain it to me. You know, I mean, you know, maybe it's all insecurity. I know everything, but you know, as a legislature, you try and know all phases of law, but you need to learn it.
You probably assumed it was on the books.
I assumed it was on the books. So they said, well, you can't buy liquor under 21, and if you're caught drinking, you know, the police can bring you in, and you can be charged with underage drinking. I said, right. So, well, you can't buy cigarettes under 19, but you can be 10 years old smoking a cigarette in the corner, and you're not breaking any law. And I said, really? And I researched it, and they were right. So we'd come up with a bill last year, but it required, you know, the police bringing them into headquarters, different things happening, and some people felt it would be too stringent, other things might occur. So we did pass the Assembly last year with full support. Got stalled in the Senate. We've rewritten the bill, and I actually think made it better. Lieutenant Rogers, who's in charge of the Detective Bureau in Nutley, also a member of the Board of Education, I met with him and said, Steve, I had this problem. We're friends, you know, since the 80s. I came on the fire department in the 80s. He came on the police department. And he said to me, well, we could use the juvenile station house adjustment program. And he wrote some notes up for me, worked with OLS on it, met with the new class in the high school. They love the idea. And we're now, if a cop sees you smoking on the corner and you're underage, he writes a report and just gets forwarded to juvenile. He doesn't have to bring you in any place or do anything. The Juvenile Bureau goes to the school the next day. So this would be kids 18 and under. If you're 18, the 18 to 19 will still be in a one-year gap, but it'll be, you have to be really in the school system. He'll go to the counselor in the school, say that, you know, this kid was caught. The counselor will notify the parent. Counselor calls the student in. He has to get counseling on smoking. And he has to mandatorily a club in the high school. For an example, Students Against Destructive Decisions, drinking, you know, anti-drinking club, anti-smoking, health club. But he has to join that for a year while he's in the school. And usually, I think also from the parent finding out, that's a great deterrent. If he gets caught a second time, again the same procedure. Juvenile just goes to the school. There's no courts, nothing involved. They bring the student in. He gets counseling again, and he gets community service in the school system. So it's all kept within the school district. Third time, he gets, of course, brought in again, another counseling program, still a part of this, but he now has to do a community service in a cancer program where there's cancer patients involved to show the results. So all we're trying to do here is not punish him, no criminal offenses, educate the child, educate the parent, and let them know that if you're seen, there's going to be, some sort of...
Seems like a great, I mean, it's all about saving kids. A great bill. I mean, it really comes down to saying, be safe. Don't make a bad decision, or don't let a bad decision define your whole entire life.
Right. And the more we can cut back on the smoking portion of this, remember something, it costs us a lot in health care because of that. When you look at protecting a child, and I say we need to make sure we educate our young, protect our young, do the right thing, and that will hopefully, cause a large change later in life.
Well, Assemblyman, this is just the tip of the iceberg for what we got to talk about, and we're going to have to get you in again to kind of finish that discussion. I want to thank you for coming in and really sharing a lot of what you're working on. Some really, really impactful bills. Sounds like you got working in the docket. So thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Thank you. Be glad to be here.
All right, everyone, stay with us. Much more Hometown after this.